the 12 Talk regular season awards. Now, as I said at the top of the show, there are various categories here. You guys can put in who you think should win these whilst we're talking about the possibilities. And if you want to vote for Seahawk of the Year, you can. Just put SOTY and then the player that you want, and Mitch will be tallying them up. And you're very right. Danny, drum roll, please. The first award is the MIPO. It's the most improved player on offense. Now, there's quite a few candidates for this. Do you not think, Mitch?
Yeah, I definitely do. I think there's a number of improved players. You got to look at an offensive line as a unit that has improved massively.
Mm-hmm.
I think you have to look at a tight end room that now looks like it's got an awful lot of talent in there, and some individuals in there that have improved. I think the wide receiver unit, we've now got arguably the NFL's wide receiver one overall in our roster. And I know people will say Jefferson's had a bad year because of who's throwing to him, and
he still made 1,000 yards.
The Bengals have had a down year, so then Jamar Chase, and there's a lot. It's a very competitive space, and it is very conditional on your supporting cast. But JSN has improved a lot this year, so there's a bunch of candidates here.
I think, like you said, with the offensive line, I think Charles Cross has really, really done himself a lot of favors this year. Obviously, he's just signed a massive extension. It's 104 million over 4 years, 75 million guaranteed. Mm-hmm. Now, when you think that's going to be him playing next to Gray Zabel for another 4 years, because let's face it, it's a great situation. Extend Gray Zabel, then that is a fantastic situation. So there's quite a lot of people that have come in for the MIPO award. Firstly, we had Bryce, who's gone for Barner.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I would have loved to give it to Barner, but I just can't do it. So,
well, we're not giving this to Barner, but there's a case to be said for Barner, and I will say this one thing: which tight end has had the most receiving yards since 2017?
It's going to be AJ Barner, surely.
It's AJ Barner. Noah Fant had 500 receiving yards last year. AJ Barner, I believe, had 505, and Noah Fant last year had been the most receiving yards by a Seahawks tight end since Jimmy Graham's 700 in 2017. 2016, he had a 900 plus yard season, but I believe that was the year we traded for him, and half of those were in Green Bay. Was it Green Bay he came from? So yes, so Barner has had the most successful tight end season for a Seahawk in 9 years. In terms of receiving yards, and he's had that impact too. Some of the touchdowns have been clutch, and some of the moments in which he's had those receiving yards as well have just been super important moments. So highly regarded now across the league, I think, AJ Barner.
Yeah, agreed. But without further ado, should we just get to who it was? Now, Mitch, I'm pretty sure you can put up the comments of the people that got this right. But voted for by me and Mitch, the MIPO of the 2025-2026 season is Zach Charbonnet. Look at his stats from 2025, 569 rushing yards with an average of 4.2 yards per carry and 8 TDs. This year, he's on 730 rushing yards with an average of 4, so slightly down, but 12 touchdowns. And Mitch, what was the stat that he was very close to earlier?
So it's the most touchdowns for a running back in the regular season since Marshawn Lynch's 13, I believe, or was it 14? No, 30. 13. So yeah, we've had our pain with Thomas Rawls, with blanking now, Rashad Penny,
Chris
Carson. there has been promise with the replacements for Marshawn Lynch, but now we have, at least in the red zone, we have a serious weapon at running back that will just get those touchdowns.
He does. Bryce put a comment up earlier talking about the extension of K9 and possibly Woolen. Now, based on the 49ers game, where the run game was effective, and if people who tuned in last week will know, I didn't backtrack, but I caveated what I said about K9 for all the season. If you put him in the right situations, he's effective. You look at that game on Saturday, he was effective because of the way we were running him scheme-wise, and Charbonnet was effective because of the way we ran him as well. There were two totally different options, a proper 1-2 punch, like I said, that were brilliant on the day. And if we can keep doing that in the playoffs, we are onto a winner there.
Well, that's relevant here. Gordon's just said injuries didn't help with running backs after Lynch. K9 in Sharp's situation has helped K9 manage his injuries. Completely agree with that comment.
Yeah, 100%. So, Zach Charbonnet, congratulations. You are this year's Meepo. Next up, we have the MIPTA, the most improved player on defense.
Yeah.
There was a few that we could have looked at for this.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at the cornerbacks. Woolen has steadily improved throughout the year. You look at players like brought Gord's comment back up there.
Oh, is that me?
Yeah.
Whoops.
Yeah, you look at the sort of from the safety room, I think when he's been there, Kobe he's just solidified that. He's taken a fantastic role when J Love's not been there, as well as a leader. Linebacker wise, you've got Drake Thomas, you've got, I think Ernest Jones has stepped up a gear as well. But let's have a look.
I've just seen Reek thrown in there as well. The problem with Reek's most improved case is it's most improved since halfway through the season, where a lot of us wanted him off the roster and traded, and then he's actually come back, and he now projects as someone I want to see starting next year. So, yeah, I'm not such a fan of that.
SPBT, the human, just so we know you're not a bot. This whole unit grew exponentially since year one. I couldn't agree more. I mean, we've had calls for Reek, like I said, Drake Thomas, Akada, another one for Woolen. But this year's winner, most improved player on defense, we've gone for Byron Murphy II. 2025, obviously, he had a bit part, played a lot of nose tackle, 36 tackles, 12 solo, 0.5 sacks. This year, in a much better D-line, 62 tackles, 22 solo, 7 sacks. His leap in year 2 has been nothing short of amazing. You know, he is so stout in the run game. It's so difficult for people to get around him. He looks to penetrate all the time. That low center of gravity and the angles he takes just make him a nightmare for offensive lines. So glad we took him.
Yeah, he's got more. Like, he's got so much more. But what we saw this year was someone really blossoming and benefiting from because last year the D-line was improving and it was getting good. This year it started from that good point and became elite. And with that became his specialization dealing with double teams, his and anchoring for leverage has become somewhat of a signature move. He becomes immovable when he does that, and it's quite impressive. But it opens so many doors for people. Honestly, he's so good. He improved exponentially. The shouts for Thomas and Reek and Okada in there, absolutely justified, genuinely justified.
100%. But yeah, we I think, because I had Murphy, you had a different player. That different player is going to feature somewhat later. So Byron Murphy, most improved player on defense. Next up, rookie of the year. Now, when we look at this rookie class, we go Gray Zabel, you've got Nicky Manwari, you've got Arroyo, who obviously didn't do a lot. Who else did we take this year?
Took a quarterback.
No
one can remember his name because we've got
Jalen Milroe, who we haven't actually seen play since sort of week 3 of the regular season because they had no idea how to use him in a package. There you go, Price. Actually, Milroe. After he said Zabel. I think the last 2 years rookie classes, especially the early rounds, the John Schneider has done exceptionally. He has built this roster in an image that him and Mike can really see going forward, and we're seeing the fruits of the labours now. But without further ado, rookie of the year is Gray Zabel. I'm sorry, it can't be anyone else. It could be. It could be
the chat thinks Demonori.
Don't worry, he'll appear at some point. But when you look at this, he's got a 91% pass pro win rate, 84.6 run block win rate. This is from ESPN. So he's had 5 penalties all season. He's allowed 2 sacks. His week 17 stats: 0 pressures, 0 hurries, 0 QB hits, 0 sacks, and 1 successful screen block, which I had to get in there. He has been transformative on this O-line. I don't think it can be understated, like how good that pick was in changing our offense.
Yeah, and all the stats and everything there, brilliant, great, happy days. But you can accumulate these stats throughout a regular season against lesser teams and lower caliber players and whatnot. But the key stat for me is that in week 18, when it really mattered for us, he was PFF's highest graded player in the entire NFL. There was no player with a higher PFF grade than Gray Zabel in the NFL this weekend when it really mattered the most for our team. He graded out with a 93.4 grade.
Just don't look at the overall, because as Bryce has said here, no, Josh, he's awful. Look at PFF grades. They're the holy grail
across the season, he had a few shocking games for PFF where they graded him 50 or 60, which has lowered him overall. But the metrics in which they measure you at times in PFF just don't seem.
It's all explosive plays. It's only if you show up on paper for PFF grades, in my opinion. It's if you do something noteworthy, they'll put a grade next to it. And if you don't, if you just have a steady role, like an offensive lineman would, where he's not letting in pressures, he's not doing anything glamorous, he's just anchoring the middle of that line, that you get overlooked. But I think he has been, for a first-round pick, just absolutely fantastic. And he's come in, he's started, and he's just been amazing. Next to Charles Cross as well. He's been playing next to his college roommate at center, sometimes with Olu as well. I can't fault him at all.
Yeah, he's been outstanding.
And then just have a quick break from that. As some of you may or may not know, we are the UK Seahawkers official podcast. If you want to become a UK Seahawker, the 2026 memberships are now open. It's £12 for the year for a single membership, £20 for a family of 4 at the same address. If you're outside the UK, it's £5 postage per goodie bag that you'll get. You just got to send payment via PayPal to ukhawksfans12@hotmail.com, and just friends and family, put your name and address in there as well. With that, you get access to our social events. You will have a 10% discount at the Pro Shop. You're eligible for game day field passes if they're available. There are members-only competitions and your annual selection of goodies, which this year included the coasters, which I currently have rocking on my desk, our 21-year anniversary patch, our annual wristband that we get that you can rock at all times, and your membership card. And then you can join this gorgeous lot here at our last meetup in Glasgow. The next meetup will be announced soon, and let's have some beers and talk Hawks. Mitch and I will hopefully be there, depending on Mitch's baby status.
Yeah, that could be a problem this year, but we'll see. I don't know what the exact date is yet, so I don't know.
If not, I will have to bring in one of the other UK members of our Discord as my substitute cameraman and the official substitute co-host.
I was going to say, I can get you a cardboard cutout, like fold it down, put it in your bag.
Mate, my bag isn't big enough for a cardboard cutout of you. You're about 6'9".
True.
If you folded it enough to get into a bag, it'd be about that wide anyway. But yeah, there you go.
I'll get one that origamis down to like a briefcase.
Like Iron Man's suit.
Yeah.
I just unfold it. Right. So the
Danny
next
says,
award,
bring back the box, by the way. When my goodies turn up
right.
for this year's membership, we have to, at least for the first few weeks of next season, display the goodies on top of my box.
Oh my God. And he's also said, instead of a cardboard cutout, a blow up Mitch doll.
Yep.
There you go.
Get us to 500 subs. Then the YouTube shop comes in. Mitch blow up dolls.
There we
Get
go.
it done.
Oh God, we've got more here. Just get one of the old school fat heads that they use to make the NFL players and get one with Mitch. Right. So away from that, back to the awards. The next award is our Instant Impact Award. This Instant Impact Award can go to a rookie or a free agent signing this year who has made the most impact. And Mitch and I had a conversation about this as to who it could be, because there are so many players, I think, from this draft class. And I'm not going to beat around the bush. There's one player who you're all blowing up the comments with, who has come in as a free agent after being jettisoned by the team he was drafted by because they thought he was too old, and has made an instant impact. And that is DeMarcus Lawrence, Tank Lawrence. This season alone, 53 tackles, 24 solos, 6 sacks, 3 forced fumbles with 3 fumble recoveries, and 9.5 run stuffs and 2 touchdowns.
It's been good.
What? And he's 33. He's younger than me, right? And it's not hard to be younger than me. I don't think there's any professional footballer apart from Tom Brady who played till like 41. But this man has come in after being surplus to requirements at Dallas, and he's come in with a chip on his shoulder, a veteran mindset, pure aggression, and he has been outstanding. I don't think the impact he's made can be understated enough on the D line.
Yeah, he's been outrageous.
He has. And, it's so nice seeing a big boy canter into the end zone as well.
I like this comment as well, because if it's not Tank Lawrence, I really think Imanori could be that guy for this category as well. Yeah. We'll have to shoehorn him in somewhere else.
Yeah, maybe. I love this from Rich. Yeah, what a signing he's been. Thank you, Dallas. Because obviously Jerry Jones knows football.
Yep.
Right. It could have been Gray Zabel as well. You're right, Chris.
Yeah.
Okay. The next award, Mitch's boy.
Mitch's boy.
So I think that this is all it needs to, all we need to say. So Mitch's boy, the award here goes to a player that Mitch, it doesn't have to be someone who's drafted this year. It is a player that Mitch has, before the draft cycle, has touted as someone who would be an effective Seahawks player and will become a fan favorite. Mitch, I'll just roll it and you can wax lyrical.
Okay. So it's AJ Barnett, but I want to just say that I think if Torrey Horton had stayed fit this season, Mitch's boy Torrey Horton could definitely have rivaled AJ Barner here. Mm-hmm. Special mentions here to Oluwatimi, who I'd predicted would be a Seahawk pre-draft process. He's obviously been more involved this year and has, for the most part, done really well. Mike Morris has flashed as well, who was another of Mitch's boys. Who else have we got? Imanori as well. Imanori was someone that we predicted. We even predicted the shuffle up the draft board and go and get him after the first round concluded. We predicted that as well. Imanori is someone as well that we talked a lot about in the pre-draft process. He could have been here. But realistically, AJ Barner statistically had the best Seahawks receiving season for a tight end since 2017. Sorry, since 2000. Was it 2000? Yeah, 2017. And also just turned up in the most opportune moments, scored some really important touchdowns, got some really, really important first downs as well. He's just been clutch, and I'm excited to see what we get out of him next year as well. And in the playoffs.
Exactly.
And the Super Bowl.
Yep. Hey, 52 receptions, 519 yards, 10 yards average, 6 touchdowns, 10 rushes for 14 yards.
Yep.
Not bad for a second-year tight end, eh?
True that.
And if that doesn't prove anything to our new subscribers or new watchers, if you are watching, subscribe. Watch us for our pre-draft stuff, because Mitch is on it. And also, Mitch, with having a new baby on the way, you'll be able to do some of your draft stuff whilst, the baby's sleeping, or, you're doing the feeding. Just saying, all the stuff I did with Ivy.
I like your idea. I don't know how that works in
real time. Trust me, it works. It works.
The best thing is this year, I don't even need to get a prediction right to have a 2026 Mitch's boy, because I am having a boy myself.
Yes, you
so
are.
Mitch's boy by default will be an actual child around about draft day as well. We could be in hospital on draft day. I'm just saying. Someone else will have to rig up the watch party if that happens.
I'll sort the watch party for the round 1. Right, the next award. I'll take this one, mate.
Okay.
This is the Slice of Humble Pie Award. And obviously, there are a lot of comments going to come in about this, because I've been quite vocal about some players and some units on this team, and some coaches even. But for this one, obviously, people are mentioning Reek. Cheers, Mitch. The J Harbaugh Nepo hire. In fact, everyone's mentioned Reek.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm going to disappoint you all. It's not Reek. It's Drake Thomas. Because before this, not that I can't mention Reek, but before this season, Mitch and I were quite effusive about how worried we were by the lack of depth at inside linebacker, that middle linebacker spot, with having 3 out-and-out middle linebackers. And it was something that we were sort of clamoring for us to sign someone in free agency, because we weren't sure how Drake Thomas would do. But this year, and we've had to put Drake Thomas in here because he's been exceptional. Look at that: 96 tackles, 47 solo, 3.5 sacks, a fumble recovery, 8.5 run stuffs, and that awesome interception against the 49ers. Now, when it comes to the middle linebacker spot, we thought Tyrese Knight had it locked up, and then behind that, we weren't sure what we were getting. What we were getting was an undersized linebacker who, Mike Mack said this on his Mike McDonald show, plays through his deficiencies. They play him to his strengths. And then if there's anything that he's not good at, they will cover for somehow or some way. I think I will happily eat a slice of humble pie about the middle linebacker spot. And I think there's a lot of Seahawks podcasters and social media personalities that said the same thing as us, but I think they've shown exactly what we can do. Just to say,
one stat on.
Go on.
Sorry, I was going to say, to add on to that stat list, there's 8 passes defensed in there as well.
Oh,
this year, and his 1 interception shows some prowess in coverage, but there were games where teams thought that they could win targeting Drake Thomas in coverage up against tight ends and things. And yeah, sure, he's a smaller stature linebacker. Perhaps that is an obvious thing to try. But 8 passes defensed is a great number as well. I think that's an underrated part of his game. Yeah.
Bryce Cohen saying Drake Thomas equals Pitbull. And then We've got SPBT, the human, saying he's a little missile, 100%. And Rich, one straight Tom it hits you, you stay hit. It's, you know what, I could have taken the humble pie about Reek, but as Mitch said earlier, he's only really started coming to life after the trade deadline. If Thomas is the pie, Reek is the crust of the pie. But yeah, I'll hold my hands up to that. Reek was nearly there, and so was K9, but wasn't to be. Okay.
Cop out. Absolute cop out. I'm calling it now.
All right. Say what you want, mate.
I'm joking.
Next award is the surprise of the season. Now, this is going to a player who it was nearly called the "Where'd he come from?" award. But surprise of the season this year is for a player that may have been on the fringes or someone who hasn't had the best season or two. And there are comments coming in which are bang on it. You know what? I'm not even going to prolong this. We shouted him out last year saying that he could be a fantastic player for the Seahawks. This year he's come in and he's proved us right. Ty Carter is our surprise of the season. 65 tackles, 46 solo, 1.5 sacks, a fumble recovery, 3.5 run stuffs, 6 passes deflected, and an interception. And he's played 2 safety spots.
Yeah, he's been unbelievable.
I just don't. There's not much more you can say. He's athletically. You look at the interception that he made, that beautiful one in the throwback uniform, where the boy has got hops. He got up for that. His tackling technique, and I've got to sprinkle it in here somewhere. His tackling technique is superb. Harry said it last week. His body angles, he uses his levers the right way by sinking his hips and exploding through the tackle. So he's a shorter stature player who knows how to use what he's got. Same as Drake Thomas, actually, to really make an impact. And he has made that impact to the point where after this season, if Kobe asks for too much money, I think we'll let him walk and Ty will be our starter next year, which means we're probably looking for a safety in this draft.
If we cast our minds back to a season where an undrafted player, well, it could have just been a free agent pickup actually, but Ryan Neal deputized in the absence of injured Adams, right? And when it came to the offseason and we had the option to offer a good contract to Ryan Neal and believe in him and take him on, we decided we'd stick with Quandre Diggs and Adams and paid them. Mm-hmm. Now, Ty Carter has arrived on the scene and arguably has outshone the performance of Ryan Neal in multiple spots, as you rightly say. Let's hope we don't repeat that. Let's commit to Ty Carter, in my opinion. He's versatile, he's talented, he's one of the best tacklers on the team. He can do it all. Lock him down.
Just 2 quick comments here. So, Chris the Rude, we're on 499. Got one away.
He's watching it. That's just happened because I checked it seconds ago. So that or he's just outed himself for not being a subscriber.
I love how much the 12 Talk community is invested in this pod as we are.
No.
Also, I love this from Gordon, Ty Carter and Drake Thomas reminds me of the Bash Brothers in Mighty Ducks, one of my favorite sports movies of all time. And yes, I can see that. That is amazing. So, Ty Carter, you are a surprise of the season. Now, we had to shoehorn one player in, and this was one that there's 12 awards, obviously. Stick with the theme. This is the Absolute Unit Award. And we were talking about people that are form tacklers. Let's also talk about people that just lay the hammer down. These are people that when, as we said, when you are hit, you stay hit. You know you've been hit. And I can confirm, Danny, it's not Bradford. He is an absolute unit, but in the wrong type of way. So the absolute unit award is for someone who's an absolute monster on the field, who is just mind-blowingly effective in contact. Someone who is a brick wall, either hitting when they were being hit on offense or hitting on defense. And this is one I'm going to let Mitch wax lyrical about, because the absolute unit award for this year goes to E-Man.
Demon Ori. The Demon Worry. Yeah, honestly, this year, Nick Imanori has, in my opinion, outdone himself, because when you watched him in college, when you watch the highlight reels and you do your study, you see this ball hawking, explosive player with all the athletic traits in the world, and you think this will be a flashy guy. Actually, what he's been for the Seahawks is solid, dependable, consistent, technique driven, rather than relying on athleticism to get it done. When you look at players like Reek, who for the first few years in the league had to rely on instincts and athleticism to patch up over technique, Imanori's come in and shown that he has all of the athletic traits and the testing results and everything else. He's got that. That's behind him. Mm-hmm. What he's doing now is allowing himself to be coached really well and to sink into the role that's been tailored for him in this system, and just do it super consistently. And when he hits you, you stay hit, like was said earlier about Drake Thomas. But Imanori does it in such a way, with those long arms and the technique and the way he leverages himself. And now he's a pass rusher too. The amount of time you see him getting to quarterbacks, applying pressure, getting the hit on them after they've thrown it, he has found a way to just be the perfect weapon in this defense, and he is an absolute unit.
Yeah, love it. 81 tackles, 56 solo, 2.5 sacks, 5.5 run stuffs, 11 passes deflected, and an interception. And the speed of which he got to Brock Purdy on Saturday, after shedding a block and creating a lane for himself, is just, it's unreal. So, unfortunately, Rich, we haven't got Defensive Rookie of the Year. The NFL are probably going to go for someone like Schlesinger, as Mitch has said in the comments, because he's played in a bad team and looked good, whereas Imanori has played on a good team and looks good as well. But then they'll look at the rest of the team and say he's not that much of a difference maker. They'll think of some BS excuse. Next up, Coach of the Year. There's an obvious choice.
There's been some interesting. I mean, the common consensus in the chat is for John Benton, who's the O-line coach. I see the case. Genuinely see the case for it. Not going to change our mind, but
I can't change my mind. I can't do editing on the fly.
Spoiler that it's not Benton. There you go. Yeah.
And then we've got someone shout out AD as well. And do you know what? Like, I love the fact that AD's there as the DC, and obviously the guys absolutely love him. I'm just waiting for next year when Mike Mack lets him call plays.
Yeah,
that's
true.
what I want to see, because I can't help but think, are you a real defensive coordinator if you're not coordinating the defense on the field? It's like an understudy role at the moment.
Coordinates quite a lot of it without the play calling, but he has to be absolutely drilled to within an inch of his life on this playbook, on how everything operates in the moment and what our answers to certain things are in real time. He needs to be super well drilled. Otherwise, Mike Mack's defense isn't as effective as it has been. So I get the need. I just hope there's not too much of a holding on to the baby and not allowing someone else to take it. So
yeah, because that would sort of be a catalyst for him to jump ship, I think, if he's not given any reins at all. There's obviously Mike McDonald could be our coach of the year within the Seahawks organization. However, I put him on that pedestal as a head coach. I think he should be in the conversation for the NFL coach of the year. And a quick shout out, as Mitch was going to say earlier, for someone who should be the GM of the year.
Yeah, Schneider. I think if this category had been a non-player of the year,
Mhm.
it would have been very hard to convince me that John Schneider shouldn't take this. And I think any season where you lose your starting quarterback and your wide receiver one in the off season, to go out and get Darnold, who has been and be so high conviction on it too, because other people were discussing the Darnold pickup. We were straight in there day one of free agency. That's our new quarterback. Get him.
Yeah.
What does he want? Pay him. Done. And he's been excellent. And to have shipped off Metcalf, who's had a spotted season with more disciplinary issues, and to put JSN front and center and believe in him, pick up Cooper Cup as well, and build the supporting cast they have. Outstanding. The draft class, outstanding. The free agent pickups with DeMarcus Lawrence, players like that, fantastic. Honestly, it's been an exemplary off season and year for John Schneider.
Yeah. However, as he's not a coach.
No, he's not.
No. Our coach of the year for this year, Jay Harbaugh. This could be another humble pie slice that I especially have got to eat. Mitch, I know you weren't as forthright with your criticism as I was. There was a little bit there, but I'll take this one on the chin. It's big enough. But the way he, from year one to year two, the way he has got to grips with this special teams unit is a sight to behold. Look at 39 field goals made, 2 block field goals, 1 block punt, a kick return TD, 2 punt return TDs, and the muffed kick TD.
The muffed kick TD.
I didn't know if that counted as that's not the kick return TD. The muffed
Is
kick
that not the
by
one
Halani.
That's the one that Halani scored from our own kickoff because it touched a player on the way to the end zone and then he got it. Yeah. Like it.
And that just says a lot about not only the technique, the awareness that he's coaching as well.
Yeah.
And I think there's been a big impetus placed on that about just, if you see the ball on the ground, just get it. Charbonnet's 2-point conversion, which no one knew was a 2-point conversion until they had to triple check. Yes, Gordon, that was a Steelers game. Until they had to triple check like the rules, and then you had, that Halani TD where it came off. Was it Caleb Johnson's hand?
He flicked his fingers, didn't it, when it bounced up? Yeah.
And Halani was through on it. I think Jay Harbaugh, and I will happily eat this slice of humble pie as well. I think he's just done a brilliant job this year. I will take back what I said about the Nepo hire. I'm big enough and ugly enough to say maybe he actually is the man to do this. So, Jay Harbaugh, congratulations. You are coach of the year for the Seahawks. Offensive MVP.
There will be a riot in the comments if this doesn't go to the person everyone's expecting.
But it could go to Darnold.
Bradford.
It could be Anthony Bradford. We could give it to K9 for, 1,000-yard season. Charbonnet for his 12 TDs. Cooper Kupp for absolutely just bossing it as a veteran within this wide receiver stable. But you know what? Let's not beat around the bush. It's JSN. 119 receptions, 1,793 yards, top in the NFL. 15.1 average yards per catch and 10 tutties.
Outstanding.
The man has stepped up as wide receiver one after the absolute panic from Seahawks fans that we'd got rid of DK Metcalf. What are we going to do? Who's our deep receiving threat now? What are we going to do about taking the top off? Who's our physical wide receiver? How are we going to scare defenses? Well, that's how we're going to do it. by having a man that everyone assumed was just slot-o-matic, put him on the outside and letting him just route up cornerbacks. Just what a guy.
Yeah, he's been truly outstanding. And I think the stats, people will remember the stats for this year if we don't win the Super Bowl. And he has a crazy game in the Super Bowl. We all saw what he did in the Rose Bowl. Man, for a big occasion. Just imagine. Yeah, but if we don't win the Super Bowl this year, people will remember this year as his big breakout year. But actually, if you look beyond the stats and actually, you apply the eye test to what JSN is doing this year, he has become so incredibly slick, and every one of his movements is purposeful and intentional,
calculated,
and calculate. It is frighteningly clinical the way he dissects defenders and manipulates them, and it is superb. So beyond the stats, there is a highly accomplished and skillful player there that will be at the top of his game for at least another 10 years.
Yeah. I completely agree. So glad we have him, and he loves being in the city. His brother's now playing baseball for the Mariners as well.
Yeah.
So that's one way to keep a star wide receiver there. But we have got one more regular award that Mitch and I have chosen. And then we have got the Seahawk of the Year award, which obviously I've said you guys have the vote on. Mitch has been tallying these up with his new Spectre Clay. Look at them. I'm a bit jealous, mate. They're better than my goggles. If you haven't put a vote in yet, put it in, because after this next award, we'll be going to the Seahawk of the Year. Well, the next award is for defensive MVP. And I think there's so many people that could get this. Do you not think, Mitch?
I'm tallying up, but there are many candidates for defensive MVP, and it depends where you think we've won. But I would say the easy thing to do here is to award it to someone on that D line, because so many players get blown up in that D line before they even have a chance to work their way through the second level and into the DBs. But my opinion is that there is one player on that defense this year that has meshed everybody together in a season where we've lacked Jay Love as a leader. There has been someone else that has been super consistent, broken a Seahawks record, and just been ever present, and a superb veteran for a really young defense, actually.
I will admit,
any guesses?
I conceded my vote as soon as Mitch sent me his, and I thought you have got that bang on, mate. I don't think it can be understated how important this man is to the defense and the leader he is. Defensive MVP, Ernest Jones IV. 126 tackles, 60 solo, half a sack, 8 run stuffs, 7 passes deflected, 5 interceptions, and a tuddy. A leader of men, a man who is all about this team, who stuck up for his QB, which we said in a previous pod shows the solidarity this team has. And I think he has been outstanding. Mitch, you know what? He was your choice. You say your bit.
Well, I mean, outside of breaking the Seahawks record for interceptions by a linebacker, and coordinating what we thought was a threadbare middle linebacking corps, he was the leader of that small room, but he was not only the leader of that, he was the leader of the defense, and probably one of the main leaders in the locker room for the entire team. I think you really do have to look at his impact and marvel at how someone in their second season, his first full season, has played such an influential role in leading a young and inexperienced team.
And as Amy said, and he's only 26.
Yeah.
That is bonkers. He he holds himself like someone who's been in the league for 10 years. Like, he comes across like a Bobby Wagner type veteran. The way he talks, the way he leads, the way he's always pulling people up and sort of giving them a pat on the back and saying, next time. What a player. What a great example to have. I mean, that does it for our picks. And before we get to the Seahawk of the season, I just want to say a massive thanks to absolutely everyone who's tuned in. We have hit 500 subs. Thank you very much, everyone. Now, the challenge is to get to 1,000. Let's see what we can do there. Not that I've got big aspirations for the pod or anything, but Matt, thanks for that. You've absolutely made my week. Really have. If you haven't already and you're watching this video and new, whether you're in the live or you're going to catch it later on, like the video because it helps with the algorithm, get it out to everyone. Subscribe. Then you could be 501, or maybe it could be number 600. Who knows? Hit the notification bell. It'll let you know whenever we're live. I want to say a big thanks to our sponsor as well, Flying V, Vintage Sports Clothing. They've currently got a load of Seahawks stuff on there. UK Vintage Sports Clothing Company. If you want to buy anything from them, the link for their Shopify is in the description down below. Use code 12Talk and you'll get 20% off your order. Can't say better than that, can you?
And if the 500 subscriber wants to reach out to us via DM, I will send you a cardboard cutout of myself that folds down into a briefcase, signed by AJ Barner. So do reach out.
Do not start making those promises. Oh my God, 500
forged AJ Barner signatures.
Yeah. Also,
AJ.
Also, you've got to try and get like a massive cardboard cutout of yourself. And if this person's like miles away, you're going to be paying a hell of a lot for postage. But yeah, if you've enjoyed what you hear as well, join the Discord. Links down below. I'm pretty sure Mitch has popped it in the comments as well. And even better, if you want to treat me and Mitch, you can buy us a coffee or a beer at buymeacoffee.com. The link's down there. Mitch, how are we looking for our votes for Seahawk of the season?
Let me have a little look at my spreadsheet. It's been quite broad, actually, with there's not been an outstanding candidate that's run away with it, although Mike McDonald has picked up a bunch of votes. So, guys, get them in the comments now. Tell us who you think should be Seahawk of the year. JSN is in the running. Darnold is in the running. Ernest Jones is in there, and Mike McDonald is leading currently. So, have you say?
You need to just pop SOTY before your choice, and then at least we know it's easy for us to spot. I mean, like I said, I'm pretty sure Bryce has already put his vote in. He's doubling up. But I mean, I'd like to say a massive thank you to everyone who supported us this season. It's only our second season doing this, and it's a UK-based podcast about an American football team. It's incredibly difficult for us to get our timings right and for you guys to engage with us. So everyone that does, whether you're in Canada, the UK, the US, Germany, Scotland, I know you're part of the UK, but still I'd like to give you a special mention. You know, any of those, anywhere you are, we really, really appreciate it. But you know what, Mitch, I can't prolong it any longer. The Seahawk of the season, as voted by you guys, the 12s on the 12 Talk podcast, is... Who's won, Mitch?
Mike McDonald.
Yes. Coach Mike. You know what? I will take that. Mike McDonald as the Seahawk of the season. I think, you know, Gordon's written the Water Boys. I don't think it can be understated the effect Mike McDonald has had on this franchise. From taking over from Pete Carroll, from the doom and gloom from some corners of Seahawks fandom about losing a legend who didn't put a logical hat on and realize that the game had progressed past that coach, to the most coveted defensive mind in the NFL, to what he's done in 2 seasons. And as Mitch and I have said, we thought it was a 3-year rebuild. It could well be, but touch wood, it's not going to be. he's well ahead of the bell curve. He's brought in players, whether by the draft or free agency, that has transformed this organization. And the mindset, the 12 as one, the mob ties, he's creating a culture that people want to be in. And come free agency, I think you'll probably find there will be people out there that want to come to Seattle.
Yeah, free agency next year is going to be fascinating because whether we win the Super Bowl this year or just based on what we've done in the regular season, we are going to be a destination for players who want to compete. Certainly defensively, we are going to be a defensive unit that people want to be part of. We are going to be a coaching team that people want to learn under. And Seattle's already a stunningly beautiful place in the country as an actual destination. It's already a great spot too. So I think next year, we won't have to be the highest bidder for free agents to get them to come through our door. And that is a great position to be in.
Yeah, 100%. So there you go. Mike McDonald, our Seahawk of the season. What a season it's been. And do you know the best part about this, Mitch?
What's that?
It's not finished.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're not signing
off. It is until 2 weeks.
Well, yeah, but we're not signing off this pod as that's our season over. Let's go and watch meaningless postseason football. We are going to watch the Seahawks in the postseason, who are currently top of the NFC with a first week bye and are the bookies' favourites to win the Super Bowl.
Yep. People believe in us.
How weird is it to think that? It's not over. You're right, Chris. It's not. Playoffs, here we come. Yes, Gary. I think this is, and this one from Jonas, the ready squad. I think we're all the ready squad now. That again is something that's been, and Ravens fans are losing it right now, as well they should. You let him walk out the door and you stick with a Harbaugh who's done nothing. This is just, yeah, as we've put on here now, season's just started from Gordon, bring it on from Rich, and a crazy stat from Bryce. Crazy stat, first true home playoff game for the 12 since 2016 versus the Lions.
That's mad. It
all runs through Lumen, and we will be watching it in our watch parties on the Discord. We'll be talking it up. I'm doing dry January, but come the Super Bowl, that's not January, is it? But then who knows?
You said that like a man who really, really misses a drink.
Oh, mate, it's only the 5th. But I'm pretty sure if we make it to the Super Bowl, there will be some sort of watch party put together by the UK Seahawkers. As soon as we know, we'll let you know. Check out our socials. You can find us at 12 Talk on everywhere. Instagram, TikTok. We've got a Facebook. We're on X. I think we're on Threads as well. You can find this podcast on YouTube, obviously. We're on Spotify, Amazon, Apple Music, and plenty of other places. I need to get myself calmed down because I've hyped myself up now just before bedtime. Why do I do it to myself? Why?
Chamomile tea.
I can't. I'm asthmatic. It messed my lungs up. But I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone who tuned in tonight. If you're tuning in after the live, hit the notification bell. You'll be notified of whenever we go live. Our next appearance will be on the Hawks side with Bryce on Sunday. And then next week, we will be having TJ at American TJ, if you want to follow him, who does a lot of the social media for NFL UK and Ireland, who's going to be doing our playoff preview with us. We can't wait for that. So from me and Mitch, I'm going to say turn up to 12. There you go, Gary. And Mitch, there's two of us. Can we do it?
No.
On the count of 3.
Okay.
Ready. Thanks so much, everyone. Turn up to 12. And on 3, 1, 2, 3. Go Hawks.